Welcome everyone, and we're back with a new show. And we'll have to wait until the monitor turns on to see who's my co-host. Well, you know who's going to be my co-host probably because I tweeted it. My co-host, my very dear friend Robert Reed. Robert, how's it going? It goes. How, okay, so since we've now all become bodyguards, how's Buddy? Because people are going to people are going to ask how's Buddy for pretty much every single show that we're going to do. There's Buddy. Look at him. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, baby girl, we're just talking about being a vegan.
Yeah.
So he may have his vegan dinner tonight.
Hold on. I have to tell you, I screwed up again. So I forgot to put on the sound of the hangout. So thanks,
Oh.
people, for helping me out. I'm getting old. I'm close to. I'm in my last year of where I can actually say that I'm in my late 50s.
Oh, man.
That's no longer a possibility next year. So
You're getting a New Jersey number.
yeah, I need help from Critical Cripple. That all kinds of flashing lights go off if I don't turn on the sound. So we'll work on that. What we did is we introduced Buddy because people want to know about Buddy. Buddy's doing okay, and Buddy's currently in Robert's lap. So, Robert, you picked the guest for tonight, who's one of your special friends.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people on Twitter will at least have heard of her. So
Yep.
let's kick it over to Little One, and please do a quick introduction of yourself.
Go get him, baby girl.
Hi, I'm Fatea, and I'm 17 years old, and I live in Kansas City, and I'm Robert's niece.
She's my niece.
Robert's niece.
So when y'all hear me talk about my niece on my Twitter videos and on my podcast, that's what I'm. Oh, my back camera's backwards.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that doesn't work on screen because people can only see you and me because I have to switch it over. That's her.
Ah, okay. Then now she's over on that
This-
side or
this is
whichever the hell. Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that's
Yeah,
my
I'm-
niece.
I'm below you.
Wherever she is on the screen.
That.
So I'm trying to remember our history. I can't. We started off. I know we got things rolling with our critique of those bad recipes.
Yes.
Remember, it'd be like
Yeah.
wieners and hot dogs, with mustard as a cake, and we would always go back and forth. It's like, well, what do you think about that? Well, what do you think about that? And then from there, it just clicked. It was just really easy, right? And then. Yeah, go ahead.
I remember actually our first conversation was you were talking to my dad about superheroes, and you asked my dad like what superhero would he be, and he was like, I'd be Thanos, and I'm always sitting here like, Dad, that's not a superhero, but okay. And then you were like, I'd be Wolverine, and then you asked me.
I remember.
And I was like, who is this guy again?
I remember that conversation actually.
But I was like, I'd totally be Catwoman or female Batman.
Yeah.
So.
Because that was one of the Twitter handles with Black Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that conversation. So it went from that to critiquing the food, and then I lost Twitter, and that's what absolutely sucked. And that's one thing I don't think any of us will understand about Twitter. Because you said what you said, which to me was absolutely benign. And then you have people sending hardcore porn or straight up sending like death threats and threatening eternal torment. No punishment. And I'm like, well, here's a teacher who said what she said. which to me was benign, and you got your ass kicked up. Now, I will never operate. It's like, but no way somehow we're gonna get you back. Yes,
Robert, you're still breaking up a little bit. I think it might be your internet again. So I'm not sure what's happening. Video quality has gone down a bit too.
something's wrong.
Yeah,
Something's wrong.
press F5 and you will be able to get back.
F5.
F5.
Welcome to Robert's trying to figure out how the hell to use computers.
I already posted in the live chat. Robert is in Texas, so he has crappy internet. Apologies for that.
Fuck Texas. Hi, Kitty.
Oh, we got another guest here. Want to introduce the other guest?
What's the other guy? Oh, the cat. Oh, okay. Hi, guys. This is my cat, Elliot. He's actually my mom's cat, but sometimes he does like to sleep with me. Say hi, Elliot. Hi. So yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Back. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
We can hear you. We can
I was gonna try it. Okay. Great. So, let's keep going forward. Keep going forward. Okay. Well, baby girl, I wanted to ask you some questions. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So there are things attached to your ears.
Yeah.
Okay. Elf.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. What about it?
Talk to me about identifying as an elf.
Okay, about identifying as an elf. Like, do you mean what it means to me? Stuff like that?
Let's go. What is an elf and exactly what it means to you?
Okay, so an elf is actually a subspecies of fae. Fae can range from elves, fairies, gnomes, pixies, stuff like that. It's just a magical creature that is, like there's different categories of elves. There's like more elves that are like spiritually with like nature, which is basically what I'd be, like dark elves, elves who are more like into like the city and being, rich culture and whatever. We call those the high elves. If you're a high elf, fuck you. And so yeah, it's a magical fae.
So excuse me. When you high elf, like is that like that's like angels? There's like Ark and like Michael, Gabriel. Those are like the top.
I would say a high elf is just like like those really snobby rich people that like nobody likes.
Okay.
That's what a high elf is.
Gotcha.
They're rich. They're snobby. They think they're better than everybody. And
so how did they make the cut? Because it's like if you've got kind of like the elves that are down with nature. Mm-hmm. And you've got kind of the snobby class. How did they make the cut to make the elf cut? It's
I don't know. It's a long evolutional story of just like some elves just like don't want to be a part of, because like we come from all fae just come from nature and magic and the beauty of the world, and high elves and dark elves are both like screw that shit, we're done. And just we're like no. So yeah.
All right. So, and your classification?
I would say a woodland nature elf.
Woodland elf. All right.
That's what I would say.
And their job, their focus.
So my focus, I guess, would be I practice a lot of like Wiccan and all that stuff, and I have a lot of like huge cares for like plants and animals, and like I have been studying fairies recently, like wanting to work with the fairies, and like fairies and elves, since they're both of the fae subgenre, are like very good friends. Yeah. So yeah. Solid.
Yeah. And so then you said what it means to you.
It means to me. Honestly, it means like a lot of like as I like go on like learn more about elves. So there's a colony called the Silver Eyes, and they're actually elder elves that have been around since the 1970s making books. And shout out to them. They're cool. Right. And just the sense of like empowerment and freedom and like not having to identify with like human beings, no offense, is nice. It's nice.
I always talk about humans like I'm not one of them. It's like, will there be humans there? I get it, because I'd really rather not.
Yeah.
And so like your subset? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Subset, yeah. So
Okay.
like I'm a fae, and the sub is elf.
All right.
Yeah.
So like you're a subset of elf, and you said like you're a little bit more connected to nature, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what does that mean? Like
like I always get like when I'm at my job, right? I work in a strip mall. So on the side of the sidewalk there's always like trash and all that shit, and like they put them in the planters. It's disgusting. So I go out there with a trash bag, I clean it up, make sure that the plants are okay. I talk to the plants. My mother taught me actually how to do that. Like you talk to plants and they will grow. I have a rabbit that I love to death. And
I saw.
Yeah. So I take care of her. I've lately been studying into like crystals and just like, just like natural energy sources and stuff like that. I like going to cemeteries. I have a real connection with the dead and like.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
is that part of the elf subculture? Or is that just you?
That's not necessarily elf subculture. That's more like, honestly, that's mixed in with just like me personally and like goth, honestly. Like I feel like.
So what is it about cemeteries?
Cemeteries, honestly, I always like feel bad for like the dead who maybe didn't make it to the other side. Because the cemetery that I go to, I have actually seen people who didn't make it to the other side and are like still wandering in those graves. And so I always feel bad for them. So I always go down there and always read to them and just make sure they're not lonely. Yeah.
Okay, one, try not to cry. That was beautiful. But so when you say make it to the other side, like Christians have, of course, heaven, then you got to pass through the river Styx. Everyone kind of has their other side.
Yeah.
What other side are you talking about?
Other side for me, honestly, I believe heavily into reincarnation. Like I don't necessarily believe in an underworld and an afterlife, but if there is one, cool. But mainly I believe in just like reincarnation. So I feel like maybe these souls that are lost at that cemetery, or the people that are resting there, might just feel like lonely and alone. Like no one comes, it's an old Victorian graveyard. Like the descendants of those people are like long dead. And the people who are here now, like they might either not exist or not know that they're there. So,
So I'm trying to remember what I remember about reincarnation. So it's kind of, go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, I want to pick up on the cue of having another side. I have another side that a lot of people aren't aware of, and I just looked. That's why I was silent for a bit. So let me show you my other side. So.
Oh no! Oh, here we go. All right, baby girl. So
I've tweeted that. So obviously, I'm part elf as well. I'm.
Dobby is an elf. I don't watch Harry Potter, so I don't. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
Baby girl, I tried to watch Harry Potter. I really did. I just couldn't do it. And I love magic and all that stuff. But I made it through the first one. It took like 27,000 tries. And I just couldn't give a damn. And so all the books and the movies, I just like, no. So no. Yeah, but so
I have to say that coming from you is a compliment to the Harry Potter movies, because I've seen on Twitter what you watch. You watch the most terrible movies that are out there, and then complain all the way through the movie about how bad it is.
Just so you know, I saw one on Spectrum, my provider, Robo Shark. And so what the plot is, aliens come down, and I'm not quite sure how, but they procreate with a shark. And so this shark is completely robotic. And so the storyline is basically 90 minutes of this robo shark just fucking shit up. And you know I'm going to watch it, and it's going to be terrible. It's going to be bad.
Man, when you come down
here right now, baby girl?
When you come down here to Kansas City, up here to Kansas City, we'll watch good movies. Because I don't know what the hell you're watching, but that...
Oh, it's good. It's terrible. Well, hold on. So if we can
You do not want to know what he is watching. I mean...
I talk about it on Twitter. I'm very open. Yeah. It started out with the two-headed shark, and then I realized there was a series. 2-headed,
Okay.
3-headed, 4-headed, 5-headed, and I didn't get to 6-headed. Oh, baby girl, the look on your face, it doesn't do it any justice. It is beyond terrible. It is the worst acting ever. And it's just, it's horrible. But you have to watch it.
I'm good. That's like what, an hour and something minutes of my life I'm never getting back. So like that's
that's the
oh
point.
my god. That's
I'm
what
that's like
the only movie that I ever watched that I was like knew it was bad, knew it was gonna be bad. I was going into it knowing it was gonna be bad. Was 50 Shades of Grey. That is 2 hours and something life of garbage, that I'm never getting that time back.
Is that the worst movie you've ever seen?
No.
What is the worst movie?
The worst.
I can think of about 5 off the top of my head.
I think I can too, but like the absolute worst movie that I actually just sat there and was like, I'm never watching this again, both on acting, effects, and storyline, is a movie called Fear.com.
I remember that title. I don't know what it is.
Oh God, it was okay. So, for a hot second there, I guess in the early 2000s when the internet was coming about to be a thing, and you know the dark web was a lot common. Just people made some weird movies about it, and that was one of them, and it was bad. Awful. It was bad. It was really bad. It's really cringy. But I think definitely second in line is 50 Shades of Grey. Definitely number 2.
I thought 50 Shades was stupid.
It was. First of all, let me just say, okay, hot rich guy. All right, who doesn't want that? Yeah. All right, do you not want a handsome rich guy to come and swoop you away?
Sounds like a storybook.
Does all that money and fame and glory really add up to the abuse that you're just willingly taking? Like, are you satisfied when you go to bed at night knowing that this man doesn't give a shit about you? Like, you could get run over by a car and he just
I thought it was like did you ever see what was it, Made in Manhattan with Jennifer Lopez?
No.
Okay, congratulations first and foremost. It was kind of the same thing. It was like this incredibly rich jet-setting business dude, for whatever reason, falling in nothing. I come from a long line of domestics, so I'm not bashing the profession. It was just unrealistic to the point where I was like, I just can't buy it. Jennifer Lopez was a maid in a New York hotel, and I can't think it was Ralph Fiennes. I'm trying to remember that guy's last name. Was this incredibly handsome, rich, jet-setting dude, and all of a sudden, he just can't get enough of this person who just cleaned his toilet. And so for me, that was 50 Shades of Grey. And it was just like, okay, one incredibly awkward interview, and that plus, the depiction of that lifestyle was not accurate. So it was just, yeah. But did you ever see any of the Highlanders?
I think my mom watched those movies.
All right. When you get off this call, ask your mom and your daddy about Highlander 3. It was unwatchable. I walked out. It was horrible. Horrible. That and Ishtar. Oh no. Did you ever see Congo? That's more that. Okay, no. Good for you. Do not do it. You need to watch it. But Congo was and now a whole bunch of them. So Congo was along the same lines of that movie with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. And so
but Jamie Foxx is the man.
Well, this one was bad. So screw Congo. That was even worse. Because Congo's about this ape who learns sign language, right? And the whole movie, she's docile, right? Protecting the dog, protecting the baby. Then out of nowhere, at the end of the movie, it's like, Amy kick ass, and she just blows everything up. And that was like the Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was a hitman. And Jamie Foxx was his taxi cab driver that he hired for an entire day, who was afraid of his own shadow. Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, Jamie Foxx bucks up to this big mob boss that not even Tom Cruise can kill. And I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And I've watched it 5 times. Oh it was pretty bad. It was bad. But You hit the elf stuff.
I hit the elf stuff.
I love the elf stuff.
Indeed.
Now,
You did indeed.
I'm going to ask you another question. You ready?
Uh-huh.
All right. We've had these discussions. You have somewhat of a unique view on God and gods.
Yeah.
You want to run that one down for me?
Sure. Okay. What exactly do you want me to
All right.
talk about?
First,
Okay.
let's hit your views on the Christian God.
The Christian.
We're in America,
Okay. Fuck
so-
the Christian God. I hope he can suck my dick. He
Or that.
can go and hang himself. He can.
Okay. All right.
All of his followers.
You're
and
you're
all
holding
of
back.
his.
You're holding back. Quick.
Oh my God. Just like, okay. First of all, let me just say that any Christian that says, "Oh, I'm not like other Christians. I'm a good," no, the fuck you aren't. Stop. If you're a Christian and you're watching this and you're sitting here like, "Oh, fuck you, you whore." Well, fuck you too. Because again, how are you going to sit here and you're gonna watch all of this shit go down, right? All of this horrible shit that Christians are doing, and you're still gonna sit there and be like, "Yeah, Jesus, woo, church." How are you gonna?
Is anyone in the side chat curious on why this is my niece? But keep going.
I'm okay. This is the perfect opportunity to tell this story.
Try
my God.
Hit it.
So I don't know if my boyfriend's watching or not. He told me that he is. If he is, hi, I love you.
Hey, boyfriend, you better watch your back and you better behave. Keep going.
So we went on a date to downtown Waldo.
Okay.
And we accidentally broke into a church.
Okay.
We have some
How do you
beautiful old.
accidentally break into
I was about to say,
Okay, no,
let the story just evolve. Keep going.
Story. So there was like this really big, beautiful Victorian church, and now as well as I hate Christians, I do love the way old churches look. I'm like a huge Victorian nerd, and so, the door was open. By the way, it was cracked open, and we were just like, okay, you know what, man? I think churches are all supposed to always be open because like if you need to go and like confess or whatever, like So I was like, okay, well, we'll just pretend like we're confessing. So we went in. By the way, my boyfriend's wearing a Rob Zombie shirt that has a bunch of like satanic nuns and naked women on it.
Perfect.
So if someone caught
outfit
us
to visit the church.
yeah, so we were in there. He had a demon tarot card set, which is by the way shit. Because we're gonna go up to the altar and we're gonna go and confess to the demons. That's what we're in a church.
Okay.
So we get in, we're walking around, and then we hear this very loud beeping. We're like,
Oh, no.
What is that? Is there a siren? And then we hear loud, like echoing through the walls, intruder alert, intruder alert. And we were like, oh shit. So we dashed the fuck out of there, screaming. Thankfully, he drives a Charger, so we just sped out of there. And yeah, so that was
Basically, what you're saying
fun.
is that you weren't welcome in God's house.
I was not welcome in God's house. He kicked me out a long time ago.
So here's the
How
thing.
does that happen?
The sad part is the shirt your boyfriend was wearing is quite easily the least offensive thing that has ever walked into a church, a Christian church, right? And I agree with you 100% that there were some comments made today at work about, this person wasn't a proper representation of the word. And my only response was, you know what? That's not up to me. You guys decide, because whatever you guys call the proper representation, I don't get to make that call. The mess up part is if that church was full and they saw your boyfriend's shirt, they would freak the hell out. And then just they're more worried about those symbols, right? Here's, satanic nuns or the whatnot. But there's like, hey, you realize that the Catholic Church has been hurting children since they opened their doors.
They are satanic.
And then they just kind of, turn their eyes to that. But so that's your view on the Christian God. You have some unique thoughts on deities yourself, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Deities? How are we putting
by
deities
the
and gods
way-
in the same?
Well,
By the way,
go ahead.
I just pulled it up on screen. Nosferatu is in the chat. He says he's the boyfriend. So
Oh, yeah, really? Hold on. How do I?
Oof.
Okay, now.
so I think you summoned him.
I did. I probably did. I do that sometimes. I'll be at work and like manifest and think on him for a second, and then he'll like turn the corner. So that's real interesting.
All right. Wait,
But-
I don't see the. Maybe I missed the link to the side chat again.
It's
Did I too?
It's in the private chat here.
Oh.
So
All right. Don't worry. Keep going, baby girl. I'm just gonna talk noise to your boyfriend, even though I love his name.
Nosferatu. Yeah, we both watched that movie.
Oh, there he
together for
is.
the
There
first
he
time a
is.
couple months ago.
There he
Yeah.
is.
But so I did want to say I do agree with you, little one, that as much as I dislike religion, I do like the churches. I do like the
Oh, yeah.
architecture, and so here in Holland, a lot of the churches are up for sale because no one goes there anymore. And I once did take out a bid on a very small church that I really wanted to own because that was at that time it was perfect. Had a piece of land next to it, so you could have a decent garden. And someone outbid me. So if that would have happened, I would have been living in a church, and it was a really beautiful small church. A very old one and very nice on the inside. That would to me that would be the perfect home.
Oh yes, of course.
That's
Victor-
say nice cat ass there. I can't, for whatever reason, I can't type anything in the side chat. But hi, Nosferatu. I'm the uncle. So I saw he said I'm the boyfriend. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm the uncle.
And
And
so
yay.
so let's clarify. Let's clarify a little. You're the uncle who would walk the boyfriend outside and say, I've been in prison. I have no reason to think that I wouldn't want to go back into prison. So if you take her out.
So I don't know how
keep that
much
in-
she's heard of my podcast, but I did a
I
segment
heard a lot of it.
on
I remember that. The
on
segment
her,
on me.
and it was about someone else, but it was. I remember saying, like, if I ever met a boyfriend of hers, let's just say I was not a fan of, I would ask, baby girl, hey, could you get your uncle one of them cold drinks that he likes, please? And we're gonna have a talk here. Like, you may not know this, but you just fucking broke up with her. You don't know it, but you're gonna find a fucking way. Because if I see you again, it's your ass. And I have zero problems killing you in front of your family and making them cheer me on while I do it. Hey, baby girl, thank you for the drinks. Yeah. I come from a long line of incredibly protective individuals. Almost to a fault. But I'm not crazy. Yes, I am. And I have zero problems hugging the boyfriend around the neck, breaking it. So, as long as he treats you good, then we're going to be good. But deities. Okay, your cat is going nuts. So I can't match that. But I got. So hold on. There's Papa on one side, and there's the Q-tip on my lap. So
You went down now.
the Christian God, not so much. But
Christian God, not so much.
There are some other ones that maybe you're a fan of. What about those people?
So I actually follow the Kemetic religion, and so we have many gods.
Say that name again.
Kemetic.
Okay.
Kemetic. It is the original, one of the original religions. I would just like to say that all pagan religions in general are kind of like the OGs. Like anything
Okay.
Catholic, Christian, they all stole it from that. But anyway, so the main gods that I would say that I follow are Ra, Horus, Hathor, Bast, Thoth, Osiris, Anubis. It's a lot more. There's a lot, but those are just kind of like the main ones.
Okay. What about those guys? What about Ra? Why
Ra
are
is
we
the
a
sun
fan?
god.
Yes.
Ra's the sun god. He's the main. He's kind of like I wouldn't say he's like the head guy, but he's kind of like, kind of like one of them.
Okay.
So, I would, there's like basically on the winter solstice, there is a tradition for him where he goes from his different phases, and you kind of like, there's like, it's called a ma'ank board, and it's a circle. There's a circle here, circle here, circle here, and a circle here. You put candles on them, and you kind of each day, so there's like a child's day, an adult's day, an elder's day, and a death day. And you kind of put the candles down in those circles, and you kind of like pray for anybody you want to pray to, or just like stuff you want to do in the new year. And then when you've written all those letters each day, you burn them. And kind of, so that's just kind of a cycle of, it's a new beginning. It's, in 2 weeks from now, it's going to be a new year. Right. So, yeah.
All right. And that was Ra.
It's the birth of Ra. That's what that's Ra.
Okay, so I'm going off the names that you said that sounded familiar. I'm definitely, I've heard the name Osiris.
Osiris, yes.
Who's, if I'm not mistaken, is a Jesus predecessor who had kind of the same resume. Am I right?
A little bit, basically.
Okay, talk to me about that.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if the Christians stole Jesus' story.
Apparently, there are about, that I can name, about 6 Jesus predecessors. And I'm sure like an R and Ra, someone could probably name like 10 plus. But followers born on or around the 25th of December, crucified, came back on the 3rd day, virgin birth. If I'm not mistaken, Osiris is on that list. But why do you dig Osiris?
I dig Osiris because he is actually the god of reincarnation and of life. He's just kind of like just a big. So there's actually a symbol for him called the Osiris backbone. I'm not remembering all the way what, but yeah, it's literally his back. It's literally his backbone. You guys can look this up.
Is it the key? Is that Ankh?
No, the like Ankh. The Ankh is not really any god specific. The Ankh is actually called the original cross. The cross stole its symbol from the Ankh.
Okay, like Ankh, so Ankh is it's the cross, but it's got a big circle on the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah, it's more kind of a teardrop shape, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So what? So Osiris is the god of reincarnation.
Reincarnation and of life.
Okay.
The earth, just like
there's one,
just the cycle.
There's one that I'm curious about. People who follow me on Twitter know that I've got a favorite god as an atheist, which is the goddess Hathor. And when I talk about the god,
yes,
if I talk about Hathor, obviously I'm talking about Hathor from Stargate SG-1, who I recently found out has a podcast and does the podcast as Hathor. It's called Hathor Talks. And but tell me about the original Hathor.
Yeah.
So the original Hathor, she's actually she's a goddess for women. Like, she is a very womanly goddess. Like, I kind of just look to her for my guide in womanhood, and she's like all about fertility and sexuality and just all feminine, beautiful, womanly things. That's her thing. But she's also like tough.
Yep.
Like, she's fought in some wars and
so this is my first hearing about this one.
And to be fair, that was pretty much how she was depicted in Stargate as well. Ooh. And a funny thing is that one of the costume designers recently posted the costume that he had designed for Hathor, which was basically not a costume at all. It didn't cover up anything. And someone said, well, she should post that. She should have that made and then post it on Twitter. I don't think that that's going to happen. She thought it was nice. But in Stargate, I remember she was also the goddess of love. If I'm not mistaken, that was taken over from the original, isn't it?
Hold on, I think I know who y'all are talking about. Is that the lady who's got like the almost some glitter stuff on the?
She was a redhead who could breathe, and then some pink smoke came out of her mouth, and then she would entice the man to basically have sex with her and produce new
Interesting.
guau.
Okay.
So
One, you had me at redhead, and two, I'm looking. Why
Yeah,
did I not
redhead.
know about? Hold on.
yep.
Okay, I'm now going to watch Stargate. I've never watched it before, but now I'm this #1 fan.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I'll link you to her Twitter account. She's on Twitter too.
Suan.
Yeah.
Damn, Robert,
Sue
you out
Ann
here
Brown.
getting thirsty, I see. Thirsty?
Okay, can we stop now? Can we just go ahead and book the church? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, y'all talk amongst yourselves.
We've got a new future ex.
We have a new future ex-wife. And now this is her without the makeup. Okay, we're done. How do I find her, and how fast can I get married so she can divorce me so I
Hey,
can move on?
Riva's in the background there. Don't be.
What's that?
Riva. What about Riva?
Hold on. Can you not see the redhead in the? Okay, we're just gonna sit here and but so we've got my new future ex-wife, and I don't know what that thing is on her hand, but okay.
That's a torture device.
Let's just go ahead and book the church. We're done. So I can focus. What about the other God, little one?
What about the other? Okay, sorry.
So hold on. We just hit my future ex-wife, and what about we hit Osiris, my future ex-wife? What were the other ones?
Yeah, she feels okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pray to her tonight and see how she feels about that. By the way, she is married to Horus. Okay, like that's her man. Okay,
well, she's about to trade up.
I'm done. I'm so done.
Hold on. What about? Hold on. I want to stay focused before I go off on redhead land. But so we just hit that one. What were the other gods you talked about? Who are the other ones?
God. Okay, so there's like one of my other favorites is Anubis, and he is the god of the underworld and mummification. He's basically the mortician of Egypt. That's basically what we refer to him.
God of the underworld. Is that would be like Pluto and Hades and the other ones, right?
Basically. Yeah.
Okay. But he's an undertaker, you said.
Yeah, he's an undertaker and a mortician, but he also kind of like just kind of lifts them both. He kind of lifts you to like the underworld or, the next, the afterlife, or, he's, yeah.
So he sounds like, who's the, I think he's just the boatman or the ferryman. Is that Roman or Greek? So when you die and the coins go on your eyes, the boatman carries you from our realm. Is that the river Styx I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So is that kind of his job?
Basically, yeah. But he's mainly kind of like, he kind of blesses your body and like is just basically the mortician and the undertaker. He cares for the dead. I actually had a dream like before I decided I wanted to be a mortician assistant and put makeup on the dead bodies and like really, have my connection with the dead. I saw a jackaled dog, which is what Anubis is. He's a jackal dog.
Okay, that's who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
He's a black dog.
Okay, I know who that is. Is.
He's he's one of the more, I guess, like right next to Horus and Set, which by the way, if you romanticize Set, go fuck yourself.
So Set, don't say it. Set. I know Set.
Set raped his brother. And killed and dismembered his brother. In some stories he raped them. In some stories he raped them, some stories he didn't. But but he also raped his nephew, which is Horus.
God,
yeah, because he was jealous of Osiris, so he was just like, "Man, fuck you," and dismembered him. And Osiris's wife Isis cried, and that's how we have the Nile River. Like it's.
That's right. I start. God, Set's
a bitch, and everybody loves to romanticize him. And every time I see people like cosplay as him, I'm like, generally go fuck yourself. Like, please Stop.
So, okay, I know
don't
the
like
name
you.
Set. I did not know the story. So this is the this is what happens when you don't sleep. This is the Cain and Abel story on massive amounts of steroids.
Yes.
Because at least,
Yes.
at least Cain just, smashed his brother's head with a rock, right? There was no sexual violation or torture like this. So Seth is the original asshole.
Yes,
right?
he's the original asshole. He's the OG.
But
Nice.
now I'm
He's
curious.
okay. Well,
Didn't
that
he
guy,
didn't he also make it into the Bible?
Who said?
did Seth make it into the Bible as well?
Yes, because I've who was it? Jordan Peterson did a talk about it, how he was in the Bible and he was one of the worst figures as well. Came from Egypt, what he said, Egyptian mythology. I'm not entirely sure, so we'll have to ping Lilith, who's in the chat, by the way.
I was gonna say, ask the surgeon. She knows the Bible better than anybody.
Yeah.
I don't remember Seth from the Bible.
Yeah, I never really read the Bible all the way. So.
No. I did pull up the picture that you wanted to show earlier, Robert. There we go.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's Hathor. That's Hathor.
That's not even really what she looks like. She has blue hair.
But how about this? If she has that wig and she's a little bit on the mentally unstable side, book the
She is
church.
not meant to.
In her last show, she found the wig and did part of her last show wearing the wig. So yeah, the wig seems to be back. And I'm still hoping the podcast ended, and I'm really hoping that it's going to continue because
Actually, I need to write that. Hold on, you think I'm close to bullshitting? What was the name of that podcast?
Hathor hosts. It's on YouTube. Hathor hosts.
Oh, someone in the chat says you like Bass. I like Bass too, personally.
Bass
she's
is
pretty cool.
cat, right?
She's the cat. She's pretty kick ass.
Yeah.
Like her.
And cats. Did they guard you in the other life, or was it
cats in the Egyptian realm, just in general, have just always been a symbol of just power. They're gods. Like, they're actually just gods. They're part god. And actually in ancient Egypt, they would stone you or like cut your head off if you killed a cat or you were saw abusing a cat. Like, cats are no joke. You better not fuck with cats. Yeah. So
so that's where that came from. I knew cats were important.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so I just saw the side chat myself, and I saw if that's really PZ Myers.
Yeah.
PZ, this is my niece. This is her show. This is what she believes and how it gets down. So that's what it is. That's what it is. So there were some. I can't respond typing, but this is her time in the limelight.
I just typed it in. That this is not Beyond Beliefs.
Yeah.
Which is a different show.
Yeah.
So this is just
about fringe nonsense without ever asking how they know. My friend, it's not necessarily about knowing. Like, I'm a strong believer in like facts, prove a lot, but I feel like also belief and faith goes a long way. It does. So, I mean, if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. But like my mother used to always say, if you don't have anything nice to say, shut up. You can always exit out of the live stream. It's not that hard, so. But yeah.
Go ahead. My thing is, my view has changed a lot since getting on Twitter. So I think I followed kind of the natural evolution of becoming an atheist. I was raised hardcore, calling gay people the worst possible names, threatening everyone with hell. And I think when you kind of come out of that, you are in everyone's face, right? It's like, there's a joke. It's, what is it? It's a CrossFitter, a vegan, and an atheist walk into a bar. How do you know? Because they tell everyone in the first 2 minutes, right? You're in there's like, Yeah, and you're like, hey, Robert, pass the soul. Do you believe in a God? And I think we all kind of took that natural progression. So I spent 39 years. Again, there's my, I would go get it, but Buddy's in my lap. There's my Bible, right? It's got my name on it in gold. Wow. And I've read that thing 3 times. So you kind of come out of that. And now, long story short, I'm at the point to where, again, I've said it on Twitter a million times. If your Jesus makes you a better person, then I like your Jesus. I can't strip anything away from anyone. It's not my job. So if your belief in a Bast and an Osiris, a Jesus, an Ogun, just name your God. If that person, being whatever, makes you help the little old lady across the street versus gun your accelerator and run her over, then I like your God.
Exactly.
Right? And it's like, again, like the Catholic priest, their God is an asshole.
It is.
And because their God looks the other way while multitude of children are sexually abused. Their God's an asshole. Now, if your belief in Ra is a reason why I love you the way I do, then, your Ra is incredible. Right? No, I mean, for real. It's like, I remember, you don't know who she is, and you're better for it. But it was one of my first interviews with S.J. Thomason. She's a horrible person. That's all you need to know.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's like really bad, right? And she was telling me this story about a lady who lost her daughter in this horrible accident. And her belief in Jesus kind of got her through all that crap. And I was like, okay. I don't care if Shazam got you the other side, as long as you get to the other side. So, you keep talking, you kid. Yeah. So we hit your gods, right?
Yeah, I also want to point out PZ is a good friend, and I don't think he meant any ill will when he asked that question.
No, I follow PZ, and if he's still sitting there, I followed him, and he's on that list of people that when I became an atheist, I listened to all his stuff, right? Him, Matt Dillahunty, Oren Ra. Oh, yeah, I wasn't bashing PZ at all. I was just saying, this is my niece's time. So if he's still there.
And he would have been right, because if this was the other show that we do, we would have asked completely different questions. This is about that. No,
that's not the way it works.
His question, I think, was legitimate when you consider our other show where we do completely different things.
Absolutely.
But, so, but let's get back to Baby Girl. So you were listing all the gods. So what's the next one?
God, I'm just naming off the top ones that I follow. I feel like that's about it. Did I talk about Horus already?
You did not.
Horus is my favorite. Horus is I actually want the Eye of Horus on my thumb as my next tattoo.
Okay.
I love Horus. Just reading his story, not only that, but being a woman who was at one point sexually abused. Now it's a tricky topic for people to talk about, but yeah. Reading his story and that kind of made me connect to him the biggest, of being he was just instead of shallowing down and being I can't stand up for my father, I can't do this. He was just nah, fuck you, Set. I'm gonna kill you. Period. Yeah. So it's honestly, I feel like that whole just story was just a really big moment of just the abuser going up to the abusee going up to the abuser and being fuck you.
Okay.
And yeah. So
it was just mentioned by Lilith in the side chat about that kind of the pagan gods allow you to have fun.
Yeah.
And that's not that I believe in any of them. It's kind of like the Greek gods. How do I say it? The Greek gods were not, they did not try to hide their appetites, right? Zeus could not keep little Zeus in his pants, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had jealousy. They were as human as gods could possibly get, right? You know what I mean? And so, I mean,
Oh, you have an Iron Forest tattoo. That's cool.
yeah. Well, did I miss it?
Yeah, someone said they have
Yeah.
an Iron. I only have one tattoo.
Oh,
and
hold on.
it's
Show the
unfinished.
tattoo. Yeah, I saw that earlier.
It's unfinished, but it is. I don't know. If
Yeah,
you can
bring
see
it
Yeah,
closer, baby girl.
it's-
Bring it
it's
closer.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's unfinished. I got it by Cheyenne Farrow, Divine Tattoo Parlor in Kansas City. So shout out to
Get
her.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the
So
only
we
tattoo
weren't.
I have.
So you didn't know I had all those tattoos.
I didn't honestly like. You look like a guy who has a lot of tattoos, so I wasn't.
So
surprised,
there's one.
but yeah,
That's the script A for atheism.
that's my favorite one.
Okay, so and there's HI. That's my 17-year-old Jack Russell, who I had pretty much every day of his 17 years.
Oh,
Hold on. Can you see it? It says Reed's work. That's what my dad used to say all the time. It's Reed's work. That's what we do. Hold on. Jesus. I'm still backward. Can you see JEV?
mm-hmm.
I don't know how to make that more. Joseph, Ethel, and Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So before every game, I would tape my wrist and I'd put that on there. So there's that. I think I already told you about Broken.
Yeah.
And the other ones I'd have to stand up for. And I'm not doing that because Buddy's on my lap. But so hold on. You had another tattoo coming.
Yeah.
What was
I have to get this one finished, but I want the next one. Actually, I know my mom's gonna freak out when I tell her that I'm gonna get this, but
she's about to find out.
I want these. I've wanted this tattoo since I was 14. Saw it on Pinterest, and I'm like, I want that fucking tattoo. It's like 3 little bats, but it's gonna be on my butt. So yeah. That's what I want. I just think it's cute. It would look cute on me.
So what do the 3 bats mean?
3 bats. Honestly, I love bats. I love bats. Like they're I want a bunch of bat tattoos because like
okay.
I mean like I got bats right here on my earrings. I don't have my bat necklace on, but yeah, like I love bats. And
really?
You know,
flying rodents.
Part of like the goth thing is like a lot of bat jewelry, bat clothes.
Okay.
You know, so yeah.
So I'm a military kid, and so let's just say we are the antithesis of goth. So I think I can pick out goth when I see it. What is goth?
What is goth? Gosh, goth, honestly, depending on what goth you talk to, people are going to tell you different things.
I'm talking about my niece.
My goth is definitely the lifestyle and the mindset and the fashion. I fell in love with the gothic fashion when I was like 10 years old.
Okay.
But like the lifestyle for me is just like finding the beauty in like odd things or like, things people might find grotesque or weird. Finding like in gothic music, it's a lot about like romance, but in a way nobody else puts it. Just a deep undying love for somebody and like, the mindset of it, going to graveyards, talking to dead people. Nobody really does that, but like I do because I think about that stuff and, stuff like that, caring for the creatures of the night, stuff like that. So
if that is golf, then I'm all for it. And I was getting ready to tell you, I don't believe in spirits and ghosts and all that stuff, but I went to Auschwitz in the early 2000s with my dad. We visited that concentration camp.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you, again, I don't believe in ghosts, spirits, or anything. I felt the ghost and spirit of it was so creepy. And I don't know, because both me and my dad are big history guys. And so I've read a lot on that topic. And when I entered that, I mean, it was everything I had not to cry the entire tour. So, I mean, yeah. So when you say you go and you talk to, the grave sites of the people who you don't think made it to the other side, there's a part of me that gets where you're coming from. Because, like I said, when I walked into that place, and I don't know if I can tell the stories, but it was, I felt that. I mean, it punched me right here. So If there are spirits, you're doing a phenomenal job by going and talking to those people. That's good on you. And if that is the definition of goth, then I'm all for it. Now, you would not make it on a military installation, I can promise you that. Because they don't sell goth clothes.
I could not live without my goth clothes. God, like I really want to. Like my favorite goth subgenre is like mall goth, which is like basically
Mall
came
goth.
around in the '90s. So
What
it's like,
is that?
it's like velvet clothes and like the long lace gloves and the big glasses and all the jewelry and the chains. And I have actually big ass platform boots that like go up to my knees.
I saw those. I saw those. You were in the
like
parking lot. You sent me that picture.
Oh my
All
God.
right. So maybe times have changed.
Yeah.
Maybe times have changed. But when I was your age and younger, so we only shopped on Post. There was none of, oh God, you're way too young. What was that called? No Label, I think. No Label jeans. You know what that is? Is it No Label? No. So like Levi's has got kind of that art.
Yeah.
Wranglers have the W. Jordache.
Oh my God, my mom was here and heard you say that. She
That's
would. Oh my
it.
God, Jordache and my mother just have a relationship. She's like, she would talk about all the time how she loved Jordache jeans, and I'm just like, I get it. But I mean, that's how I feel with like Trip NYC and Killstar. I don't even own anything from Killstar, but I want something from Killstar, so I get it.
because one, they didn't sell Jordache jeans on Post.
Damn.
But two, my ass has been the size it is since I was a kid. So I can't fit into regular jeans. That's why I have to wear overalls. But when you shop on Post, so No Label jeans had no labels on them. The pocket was just empty.
Yeah.
So there were no, long story short, I don't think you could have been goth on Post. You would have had a miserable experience.
That sounds like my worst nightmare.
You wouldn't have made it. Now, maybe it's different. I haven't been on Post in 30 plus years.
God.
Oh, is it next time?
I'm making myself chocolate milk. Thank you very much. All right.
Chocolate milk. Okay. So I'm not even close to BS. And when I tell you, I don't think I had chocolate milk till I was an adult. We weren't allowed to have it.
That's understandable.
Well, look who my parents were. It was either white milk or nothing at all. But
wait,
go ahead.
You weren't allowed to have it?
No.
How's that?
I mean, my parents never liked it when I drank soda. So like I wasn't really even allowed to have soda until I was maybe 13.
Soda. No, we had. By the time I was able to drink soda, I was I was mid-teens. Excuse me. And it was like one a week. That was it. Hold on, let me see the container, because I still don't drink chocolate milk. What is that?
It's almond milk.
There's no such thing. That's almond juice.
Whatever.
You don't milk an almond. That's almond juice. Stop it. It's like vegan hot dogs. No, you have a vegetable patty.
And yeah, I have vegetable dogs. So, yeah, you know what? I am. So what?
So hold on. So hold on. You just hit the almond juice with chocolate gravy.
Almond milk.
It's not almond milk. No, I refuse to call it milk. I refuse. But I got another question for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So I went to public schools all the way through. Mm-hmm. And I told you, last time I talked to your mother, it was 90 minutes of holy shit. Because again, like I said, I learned more from your mom in 90 minutes than when I did 18 years of public school.
Yeah.
How do you see your education?
I see my education.
But you're currently not in public school, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't have a point of comparison to what you have and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So homeschool, how do you like it?
Homeschool. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, by all means.
It has its pros and it has its cons, but it's mainly a bunch of cons.
Okay. Well, like again, after speaking to your mom and some other people, actually, I can probably say the same thing about public school education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like again, you like I think I got out right at that time, but public school, at least down here in the you're in the South.
I'm in the Midwest.
Yeah, close enough. You kind of teach towards a test, because if I'm not mistaken, kind of test scores. If I'm not mistaken, like test scores kind of decide kind of your compensation that you're going to get from the state. I may be messing that up, but you teach so that kids can pass a standardized test versus teaching what actually happened. Like I had someone not too long ago pull their child out of a public school because a public school decided we're no longer going to teach the fairy tale of the first Thanksgiving.
Oh God!
Right, because it's not what we were taught. Right, you come here and you had a nice vibrant lunch when in fact the Pilgrims were assholes. So it's So you seem to have a different view. Mm-hmm. Like, what are the pros of homeschooling?
The pros are I definitely do not have to I have a friend, Cassidy. Kaz, if you're watching this, I love you.
Kaz. Hey, Kaz.
She's probably not here. She's probably at work. She's a busy woman. We love that. But
right.
She, I heard her be just annoyed and struggling with school. She graduated this year, so she's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm out of school." But
okay,
just having to be I got to learn all this bullshit advanced algebra that I'm never going to use ever in my life, and trigonometry, and I'm like, damn, sounds rough. Couldn't be me though.
True.
I get to pick and choose what
okay
I want to learn about. And I told my mom I want to be a cosmetologist, so she's like, cool, so we'll get you on chemistry, and I work a lot, so I can afford the makeup that I need to experiment with all that stuff and whatever. And I have really good English, writing skills. They actually told me when I went to ALP that I was phenomenally a good writer and a good grammar for a dyslexic. So, so it's pro. Being dyslexic, public school would have rushed me and would have done all these things that were not right for my brain.
Right.
So that was nice to be able to kind of be in an environment where I could take everything at my own pace. The big con is I didn't really have a lot of friends until recently.
Okay.
When you go into a homeschool group, okay, since not a lot of people are homeschooled, they're very small. Okay. And the homeschool groups that I was going into, I mean, those kids knew each other when they were in diapers, and I'm sitting here the 8-year-old, weirdo who's sitting behind, everybody reading an Edgar Allan Poe book, and everyone's wondering what the fuck she's doing.
Right.
So, yeah. So I was definitely always the odd one out, no matter where I went, even in a room full of weirdos. It's always just been painful. I've come home and cried and just asked my mom, what did I do wrong? Why does everyone hate me? Yeah. So that's definitely a thing. And it's second someone hears homeschool, they think oh, you're either super religious or you're some kind of incest freak. So no one ever wanted to hang out with me. So yeah, and I played with Barbies and dolls until I was I still do because those have been my only friends. Those have been my only friends. I've only met friends like
Oh,
online, and like I have my boyfriend, which and I just now recently have friends at work. Like it's just been a thing of I don't have a social life. I never had one.
yeah.
I never knew how to be social. I was always the freak, no matter what I did, no matter what I said. It was just always everybody hated me, and I didn't know why.
So we.
I think that is still a major problem, though. If you because I've got friends. I've got a friend who
Oh,
has
Robert, don't cry.
Well, we've talked about this before, and I told you don't say that
Oh,
about yourself anymore. You're not a freak, so stop saying that. It's
well, Robert, see it like this. There are people who are proud to be freaks. I'm one of them. I don't fit in. I don't fit in a lot of groups. So I'm proud of that. I stand out. I'm myself, and I'm proud of being myself. And
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
different from other people. So I don't think there's it's too bad to be a freak at times. Um, I take the
No,
label, and to me
a
it's
freak means
it's
you're strong enough to stand on your own, kid.
exactly
You
exactly.
don't say that about yourself anymore.
Well,
You're not a freak. You're a good kid. So you know what? Fuck all those other people. Don't say that about yourself. So sorry, I brought
no, you're fine. You're fine. I was kind of crying up a bit too. So
No,
it's okay.
you don't say that about yourself. You're not a freak.
well, the problem is, and this is what I wanted to highlight, is that in all throughout the Western world, people who are dyslexic, there's no place for them. There are no schools
No.
that specialize in teaching people who are dyslexic. I have a friend who's dyslexic, and she struggled all through her youth because she did go to a normal school and had a lot of trouble there. And so I get the part where you say they looked at me different because kids don't understand. They have no clue what you're going through.
But that's on them.
And
That's not on the dyslexic people.
No.
That's not on her.
it's also, but
you
it's
need to
also,
step your game up and learn that there are people who learn differently.
but it's also
Right?
not entirely on them. It's also on the educational system, which
Well, exactly.
which
I mean,
should
the
provide.
educational system, I don't remember what leader said this, but literally referred to dyslexia as a disease, and we needed
Mhm.
to cure it.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Oh, Jesus.
I don't need to be cured. What you need
know
to do
you
is you
don't.
need to open up more ways for me to be educated that make sense
Yes.
and that work, not just sitting here and assuming things. Talk to actual dyslexic people and be like, hey, so what's something that you struggle with? How can we make this better for you?
Oh, yeah.
It is weird
Oh, yeah.
that in 2021 people still talk about it that way. If we look back in
yeah.
history, kids who were left-handed needed to be taught how to use their right hand for writing, and it screwed with them as well. It is something that we need to pick up, and that
know-
the educational system needs to step up. And if there is a need for a special school, then those schools should be available.
Yeah.
Another friend of mine on Twitter has a dyslexic son, and she had to send him to a Catholic school because that was the only school who had a special program and would give him the attention that he needed in order to fit in and to get a decent education. Now, that caused a lot of other problems because the son is a vehement atheist. So, going to a Catholic school, he was asking all the wrong questions.
Like logical ones.
Yeah, and so we've been having fun with that on Twitter because
Oh, yeah.
he would get in all kinds of trouble because he would just ask questions and the
Oh,
obvious
yeah.
questions. But
I was about to,
it's still a shame.
I,
It's still a shame that we don't have an educational system
we
that
don't.
provides for people with
We don't.
dyslexia,
We don't.
because it doesn't mean you're stupid. Let's put
I
that one to
actually
bed right
just
now.
saw someone in my professional life. She's been talking about her dyslexic son,
Mhm.
and I had no idea. And then she showed me, like, if you put, screw it, just any book, put the Bible in front of someone who's dyslexic, and she showed me this is what everyone else sees. This is what someone with dyslexia sees.
Mhm.
And she had to pull her kid out of public school because, yeah, they were treating the kid like a disease versus, yo. And when I saw it, I mean, I almost broke down. It's like, holy shit. Is this just how they process? I mean, no wonder, right? But I don't know if I told you, baby girl, your uncle. I don't know if I was part of the last, but it was near the last generation. I'm actually left-handed. And every time I went, so like when you, for us to take roll, it was who was going to eat a hot lunch that day.
Mhm.
And so you went up, and every time I grabbed the chalk with my left hand to write, Chris Reed, I'd get hit, and they'd make me pick it up with my right.
Mhm.
My God.
I never did that athletically. So I still throw a baseball left-handed, football left-handed. I threw the discus. I went to state as a discus thrower, left-handed. But if you ask me to sign my name, I do it with my right hand. So yeah, there was a point in time where, scissors weren't made for us. Desk arrangements weren't made for us because I would hold my hand here. My elbow is right next to the person next to me. And so they would make me pick it up here. Athletically, it didn't matter. It's part of the reason why I played outside linebacker. I'm on the side where most quarterbacks throw the ball. So academically, I was cursed for being a lefty, even though there's nothing wrong with being a lefty. I still write with my right hand athletically, and when I fight, I'm left-handed. And so, yeah, you and the whole dyslexic thing, I'm going to make you promise me one more time. Because I promised you, I said I'd stop calling myself crazy, and I work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call yourself a freak anymore because it kicks me in my chest. You're not.
Okay.
You learn a little bit differently from other people, but you're not a freak. I don't give a shit what anyone says. So don't say it.
I agree, and I still
Yeah.
think if you're going to call yourself that, wear it as a badge of honor.
You're
You're different. You're better.
You're better. You're better. I like
Yeah.
that. You're better.
Yes, yes, and I do think that because as someone who's dyslexic, you've had to struggle through life a lot harder than anyone else, and the fact that you got where you are,
Yeah.
that means that you've earned that badge. So whereas as a badge of honor, not
Most
as
definitely.
as a put down.
God, there was a meme because there was a principal ballet dancer. I'm trying to remember her name. But there's this incredible pose where she has her leg, kicked up over her head, and everything looks fantastic and beautiful. And it was something along the lines of, because she's living with a mental illness. And kind of the end of the meme was, don't ask me how I live with a mental illness. It's how do I make it look this good? Right? Because she's a success in every other form and fashion. But she's had some struggles. So it's like, don't ask me, kind of how do I deal with it? Ask me how it is I make it look this damn good. And so, yeah, again, we texted this. You're a Reed now, kid. Sorry, you're one of us. You're going to make this look strong. So don't Yeah.
Reed's work, baby.
Reed's
That's
work.
right
I
there.
mean, maybe that should be another tattoo for you.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to run that past your parents first.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can possibly get the whole Reed's work. But I saw, so you're not here yet, but if you ever get a chance to visit your uncle down here in Texas, the only laughing portion about homeschooling is there's now not a division. They allow homeschooled high school students to compete in Texas relays.
Oh.
Now here, Texas relays, it's like the Olympics. If you're invited to the Texas relays, the world stops for Texas relays. There's now a homeschooled. And the only funny part is, one, we all cheer. Two, when all four members of the sprint relay are wearing board shorts and high top basketball shoes and baggy t-shirts, while everyone else is in aerodynamic stuff, you got to laugh a little bit. But we all cheer because they give it everything they got. A good high school sprint relay comes in 49, 48 seconds. These kids are coming in like 2 minutes and 57 seconds.
Oh.
There's no skill at all whatsoever. Half of them just like they just finished eating like at Subway subs, and we love them because they come and they give it everything they've got. So that's the only comical portion about the homeschooling bit. But you continue to do you, kid. And if I hear you say you're a freak one more time, on top of crying, I'm going to get a one-way ticket to where you are because I've got your address.
Oh, shit, you don't have my address.
Okay, you know what's effed up?
What?
Do you know I've tried to send you my jersey 2 times?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've tried to send you that shirt 2 stinking times. Wow. And they both get kicked back. So I wanted to give it to you as a Christmas gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it got sent back. I tried to send it again. And then I contacted your mom, was like, do I have the right address? So for those of you who don't know, I had 2 jerseys. One was the Sugar Bowl. One was the Sun Bowl. I still have my Sun Bowl jersey because in 95, the NCAA changed the rules and given me my jersey, the one that I sweat and bled in, was considered an improper benefit. This is a true story, baby girl. I don't know if I told you.
Oh.
So at the end of the 95 season, the Sugar Bowl, since they couldn't give me my jersey, they had a garage sale. To this day, I have no idea how it happened, but I remember I was driving on the east side of Austin before it was gentrified. Back then, it was the bad side. I saw my number 40 jersey on the body of a crack addict. It was the actual Sugar Bowl jersey. And all I could think was, okay, someone's going to look at that and wonder, where did Robert Reed go wrong? Because this person was as big as my pinky wearing my jersey. So I still have my Sun Bowl jersey before they called it an improper benefit. That's what I'm trying to get to you. But for whatever reason, who do I blame? Do I blame Boss? Wait, who's the dog guy? The underworld god.
Oh, Anubis?
Okay, Anubis. Apparently, Anubis does not want you to have that damn jersey. So I've tried to send it to you fucking twice.
I don't know if any god does
I can't make a joke here, Robert. Did you try and make the arrangements online? Because we all know how good you are with computers.
No, I went to the actual freaking post office. That's the bad part. And as I'm sitting here talking to her mom, it's like, did she get it? Did she get it? Did she get it? She's like, she didn't get it. She didn't get it. She didn't get it. And like several weeks later, I've got a big old box in my damn mailbox, with a return on it. It's like, what kind of shit is that? And I was like, okay, this is just sitting on some bullshit. But I'm just like, no, maybe My brain just completely farted. What was the dog face guy again?
Anubis.
Maybe Anubis doesn't want you to have that damn jersey, but you're getting that damn jersey. And your mom was like, are you sure you want to part with it? I was like, it just sits in my closet. The only thing that means anything material-wise in this house is my T-ring. T-ring is only given to graduate lettermen, and I worked my ass off for that. I'm going to be buried with that ring.
I'll make sure of that.
You should. And
do you want me to organize your funeral? Because I'll make sure of that.
Oh, I already have my funeral playlist. It's ridiculous.
Do you want to be cremated or do you want to be?
I don't care. It's like I'm not even there anymore, so I don't care what happens to this. This is terrible anyway. And when I woke up this morning, I could barely walk to the damn toilet. So I don't care what happens to this. So I told she was like, "That's a big." It's like I don't. If my last name can go on your back, yay. Now, if I start to give out my T-ring, I was like, that's when you need to start. Someone needs to call 911 or call the guys with the big white jackets to come and hem me down. But no, I want you to have that jersey. It's you. You're a Reed now, kid. You need that jersey. Yes, and look at you. You're finishing up your damn chocolate almond almond juice. No, I'm not calling that milk.
It's milk.
No, it's not milk. I've had milk before. That's not milk. Milk
and I've had milk before too.
Milk comes from, say it.
Cows.
And
goats. Fun fact.
Okay, then. And if it was goat, I would say yay.
You should have said almonds. You would have freaked out if you had said almonds.
No, juice comes from almonds. That looks terrible. Just so you know, when I meet you, we are not having almond.
Okay, I'll put down my veganism for you.
No. You maintain. You and Buddy can remain vegans. I can tell you right now, I'm not touching that stuff. I'm just not.
Hey, but you know what? In Kansas City, we do have a restaurant called, I think it's called Kansas City Kitchen and Pizzeria. Yeah. And they sell like normal food, but they also have a separate menu for if you're vegan. So we could go there.
Really?
Both of us could be happy.
Now in Texas, well, not Texas, in Austin, because we have, Austin is just a tad bit different. Fine. Mm-hmm. But there are vegan options, and I can all but promise you, I am not going to any of those.
So we started out talking about horror movies. So I think that if you go over there, I think she should lock you up in a room and feed you vegan dinners all the time, as long as you're there.
And how about this? I'm willing to do that if she's willing to watch some of the slasher films from when I was her age.
Let's do it.
That is Jason. That is Freddy. That is Michael Myers. Yeah. That's all that crazy shit. But again, the difference between my generation and hers, Freddy just came and put his 5 fingers in your stomach and just gutted you. You suffered for 2 seconds and you were dead. Her generation is like Saw and stuff like that. Like I said, I've watched 7 one time, and then I went to Operation Shutdown mode. Go ahead, kid.
Okay, look, my generation doesn't just do torture things. There's other, like, we have like a lot, like one of my favorite movies actually is The Conjuring. I love The Conjuring series.
Oh yeah.
Paranormal.
Yeah.
And there's modern day slasher films. Like, have you ever watched American Horror Story?
No.
Okay, it's got some slasher stuff in there. It's not too much. I mean, there's some torture, but there's also slasher. God, Coven, best season. Coven.
Is that a TV show?
Best season. Yes. American Horror Story. When you come out here, we're going to watch it. It's great. It's absolutely wonderful. Much worth your while. Stevie Nicks is in the Coven season.
Okay, Stevie Nicks doesn't live but 10 miles that way.
Really?
He lives in Austin. Absolutely. I saw her place. It is magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. And Coven means vampire den. Is that what this is?
What?
Coven. You said There's a show called Coven.
Okay, no. Okay, so American Horror Story is the show. But American Horror Story is a really like it's cool in the sense of each season is its own thing. So the first season is Murder House, which is about a murder house, and they actually talk about there's a character in there who is based off of the Columbine shooters, so that's what that one is mainly talking about.
Okay.
The second one is Asylum, so it's talking about insane asylums, and it's actually mainly its main focus is just how fucked up the Catholic Church is.
Okay.
Second, it's Freak Show, and that one's about like circuses and like human oddities and stuff. That one was actually one of my favorite ones. The fourth one, I believe, is Coven, and then there's like Hotel, and it's just every season is different, but
Okay.
all of the seasons are a different story, but they all tie in together in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
you have to watch all of it, and then I can break down with you the entire American Horror Story timeline, and it'll all make sense,
So,
but you
hold on.
have
It's
to
a-
watch it first.
One, Papa is trying to wake up Buddy, if you can see that.
Hi, Papa.
Yeah, and that's
Aw.
there's my mass murderer, and there's the Q-tip. Apparently he was sleeping too long, so Papa's trying to get him to wake up. But it's American Horror Story.
American Horror Story, and the best season is Coven. And honestly, I kind of really liked Hotel in 1984. Those were my favorite ones. 1984 talks about the Night Stalker. Fun
Look at you.
fact.
American
Yeah.
Horror Story. So just so you know, I'm watching that with dinner tonight,
Do it.
and I'm going to talk shit about you if it's terrible.
It's not terrible. It's not.
Okay, I'm going to
It's
take your
not.
word for it.
I
But
promise.
so do I start from the top or do I go to Coven?
If you want to start from the top, you can, but you don't have to. I mean, I'm going to
Okay.
be honest with you. All American Horror Story fans are going to come for me when I say this, but Murder House was not that good. Everyone hypes it up way too much. It's
Murder
not
House.
that good. Coven is definitely the best one, right next to Freak Show. And Apocalypse. God, Apocalypse is great. But don't watch Apocalypse until you've watched all of them, because Apocalypse isn't going to make any damn sense unless you watch all.
So Coven first, Freak
Yeah.
Show, and Apocalypse.
No, don't watch Apocalypse until you watched all of them, and then watch Apocalypse. So, like, if you want to go in order, go ahead and go in order. But
So how about this? Tonight, I will peep Coven, and I will give you my review.
yeah,
Deal?
Deal.
That's going to be all right. I learned some stuff today there, didn't I? All right. What else you got for us, baby girl? You've given us quite the education.
What else did
on
I have
God
for you?
and- oh yeah, spit it out. This is your stage.
I'm
This is
expecting
yours.
a live review on Twitter as well. As,
Oh
as,
God,
as
you know
usual.
it's coming. You know it's
Yeah.
coming. You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
Oh my god.
We hit your gods. I love the fact that you read or visit people in the cemetery. That is that's pretty fucking cool.
I would like to just shout out my
Oh.
chauffeur, which is my boyfriend who takes
Yeah?
me and comes with me. So he's also
Nosferatu?
part of that dilemma. Yeah. So yeah.
Is Nosferatu into that stuff as well?
Yeah, he is. We're both goths, so
Okay.
it was kind of like a win-win situation. So,
Way to go.
yeah.
Way to go. Like I said, if you guys were on post in the 80s when I was your age, you would not have any golf shit. You would have had to been golf on the inside.
Goth on the inside.
There
Goth
was
music was around in the 80s. There's a band called Sisters of Mercy. I believe Joy Division was around in the 80s, and they're kind of like a goth band. Like 80s and late 80s and early 90s is kind of like trad goth, basically.
So there's I only have 1, 2. You only made 3 playlists on my Spotify. You know that?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
So is there golf music? So him.
Oh God, no!
No, that's what's on there.
We're not talking about him right
Okay,
now.
sorry. Because I've listened to it while I've worked out. Because I told you to make me some workout stuff.
Billy fucking Velo.
Yeah, so I remember that. I've got Baby Girl's Vibe,
Uh-huh.
which, and there was another one that's around here somewhere. So maybe you make me some goth music to work out to.
Sure.
Can you do that? Oh,
Yeah,
hold on.
sure.
Am I allowed to talk about Joe Barksdale?
Who's Joe Barksdale?
I don't know, but he's on my list, and I sure as hell didn't put him on there.
I don't listen to Joe Barksdale.
I don't know who
That's
that
someone
is.
else. Someone hacked your Spotify account. 'cause I
Well,
don't
you're
listen
the
to
only
that.
person who has my Spotify login, and so I don't know who Joe Barksdale is. I thought that was the third one. Okay, then let me find a way to get rid of Joe Barksdale. So your next assignment is to get me a playlist to work out to that is all goth. Can you do that?
Oh god, sure, yeah, I can try.
This ought to be. So I've learned some stuff from Baby Girl's Vibe. Wait. She Wants Revenge.
Oh my god, She Wants Revenge.
Okay, so
is,
that's the other one.
Ultimate, one of my favorite, like top goth bands.
Really?
She Wants Revenge.
Okay, you know what? I actually have not heard. I have not listened to this. Is this workout worthy?
Honestly, yeah, I
Oh.
would say so. Especially their song "All Wound Up." That's a good one.
So hold on. There's a whole. So like click, and it gives you the options: dark and gothic.
Yeah.
Did you put that on there?
No, that wasn't me.
Okay, so
Maybe
oh wait, this is from my age. The Cure, the
The
Cult.
Cure. Yeah, they're totally goth.
Shut up,
They can
Susie and
stop
the
it.
Banshees.
Okay,
Wait, hold
what's
on, is
Susie
this
and the Banshees? I'm sorry, we don't like her. She's a
We
Nazi. She's a Nazi. She's 100% just like fuck Jews, fuck black people, fuck
Is
gay
she
people.
really?
Like she's a Nazi. She's a Nazi.
Because
She's
you know
like,
the
one
messed up
biggest
part?
Nazi.
I've got her music on my other list. She was part of the Batman. When the Michael Keaton character is that Batman. My brain is so tired. But in the 80s, it was Michael Keaton as Batman, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Susie and the Banshees actually did a portion of that soundtrack. I did not know that. And now that you said that, she will go off. Even though I'm going to miss Face to Face.
I'm gonna be honest with you. In a way, music is just music, and like I'm gonna be honest with you. I know how much of a piece of shit Marilyn Manson is, but do I still continue to listen to his music and wear his hoodie? Yes, I do.
Wait, he's a bad guy?
Yeah, he came out recently with some allegations of abusing an ex, and yeah, so
You know the sad part, and I learned this in my incredibly short time in the NFL. Celebrities are people,
yeah,
right? And if you were to line up 1,000 janitors, a certain portion of those janitors are going to be Christians, some are going to be atheists, some are going to be left-handed, some are going to be vegan, and there are going to be some janitors who rape, who murder. No matter what the population is, there's going to be a group of assholes.
yeah.
I did not know that Marilyn Manson had some issues. So every time a celebrity falls, and now I learned that Marilyn Manson fell, I'm sad, but I'm just not shocked because whatever.
I'm really not either. Like
I didn't know that.
But like, if you want us to listen to Susie and the Banshees, go ahead. I don't really care. I never cared for her music all the way. Like I like maybe 2 or 3 songs by her, but
And
like,
I only know 2 or 3 songs.
yeah. So
Right?
it doesn't
Like Marilyn, Beautiful People. When I realized I didn't believe in God,
yeah.
Beautiful People is one of my anthems. Because if you ever listen to the words, he's attacking the church, right? It's like
He attacks the church in a lot of the songs.
yeah, there's us and then there's them, right?
Mhm.
The beautiful people, the size of your steeple, and it's like, fuck yeah. So I remember Chris Rock doing a very small routine on it, talking about, I think it was Chris Rock, about Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is a serial rapist. There's no debating that. And I think it was Chris Rock, but it was like, but he also like donated, how many millions to the NAACP. He paid for people to go to college out of his own pocket. And so it was like, there's the predator, and then there's the philanthropist. And it's like, never forget that Bill Cosby is a serial rapist. Right? It's like Michael Jackson. Like I stand strong against R. Kelly. I haven't listened to R. Kelly music ever since the shit came out, but I still listen to Michael Jackson. So it's like, how do you separate the criminal from their art? It's tricky, and you're right. It's kind of who you pick. Susie and the Banshees. I'm not married to them.
I think that's the problem that you run into whenever you hear something come out about a celebrity, because it's connecting you to memories, to things that you might where you might have strong memories to a movie or to music or whatever, with things that made you feel good at the time, and it's just extremely disappointing that then something comes out and turns out that the person that you have fond memories of is basically a piece of shit. So it happens. I mean, as you said, they are people, and it's going to happen. It's just going to have a bigger impact on other people because they're known.
All those guys that I idolize playing high school football and college football, and then I'm sitting next to them in a NFL locker room, and then you hear the stories about I went home after work, because that's what we called it. I mean, no one said we went to practice. You went to work. Mm-hmm. That exact same guy went home that night and helped his kid with their homework. Argued with his wife over what we're going to have for dinner. Right? It's like, you're a human. You're beyond what I saw on the helmet. So yeah, they're still people, and people are going to be flawed. It's just a matter, the impact. Are you R. Kelly, or are you Robert Kelly, the guy who cuts my grass? Right? When Robert Kelly, the guy who cuts my grass, fucks up, no one ever hears about it.
No.
But when R. Kelly, the musician, does it, it's a scandal. So yeah, I totally get it.
But I've got some terrible news. We've come up to an hour and a half.
All right.
So that's usually our cutoff to make sure that people are going to watch this. So I wanna pitch it over to you, little one. Is there anything we haven't touched on so far that you really want to get out?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So we covered most of it.
I think we did.
You did great. You did great. I loved it.
And it was a great talk. So
wasn't it?
Anytime you're up for coming back, just let Robert know.
Whenever.
We'll make it happen.
Whenever. Invite me whenever. You know,
we'll find another topic.
I'll be a permanent what is it? Of the co-host.
Okay.
Yeah. The third host. Yeah, sure.
Whatever you want to call it, you're coming back. You're coming back.
Okay, that's settled. So, Robert, I want to thank you for bringing this beautiful person to our channel and having this great talk. And it was really nice for me to meet you, because obviously I've seen everything on Twitter when you get mentioned and when Robert talks about you. So it was a delight to.
What does he say? What does he say when he talks about me? That's what I want to know. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know what he says. That's what I want to know. What does he talk about?
So he talks about, and maybe I'm going to make him blush, but he always talks about what a terrific person you are, and I think we've found out that he's probably correct when it comes to that.
He's fantastic.
So,
and I'm coming to see you. You're coming to see me soon.
Oh yeah.
August. Yep, August.
Right as that just happened, the four-legged meatloaf just showed up.
Just a quick tip, Robert. Take the jersey with you. Then you're sure that it's going to get there.
No, the jersey is hers. It's just sitting there. And it's like, again, she's a read now. She gets that jersey.
Okay.
So there's no question.
I want to thank everyone who's been in the side chat.
Thank everybody.
I honestly didn't monitor the side chat as good as I usually do. I don't think there were any questions. I did pull up a few things about the whole milk controversy that just happened.
There is no controversy. But it's almond juice. I'm not backing down off of this.
Okay, so as I said, thanks for everyone watching. Thanks, little one, for coming on the show. It was a great
time.
talk, and we
Oh,
catch.
hold on. How do I do that? Did I do it right, baby girl?
Yeah, it's close enough. Close enough. Close enough.
That's it. So, catch you all on the next show. I'm not entirely sure when that's going to happen. We've got a few people lined up, so just hashing out times. And so keep an eye on the Twitter account, and we'll announce the next show. And see you all then. Bye-bye.